The December 4th, 2025 regular session of the Clarksville City Council is now called to order. Pastor Yvette Teal with Great Commission Christian Church will be our chaplain of the day. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilman Haywood. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to please stand. And Pastor Teal. It's on.
Let us pray. Gracious and sovereign God, we thank you for the gift of this day and for the privilege of gathering as one community. We lift up the city of Clarksville, every neighborhood, every business, every family, and every citizen who calls this place home. Today we pray especially for our mayor, our council members, and every leader entrusted with the responsibility of guiding the city forward. Grant them wisdom that is clear, judgment that is sound, and hearts that are attentive to the needs of all people. Lord, let the business discussed in this meeting be carried out with decency and order, with integrity, respect, and unity of purpose. Allow every conversation, debate, and decision to be rooted in the common goal of advancing the well-being, safety, and flourishing of all who live and work in Clarksville. Where there are differing viewpoints, give grace. Where there is uncertainty, give clarity. Where there is pressure, give grace, and where there are opportunities, give courage to act boldly and justly. Bless the leaders who serve, the staff who support, and the citizens who participate. Strengthen our commitment to fairness, equity, and collaboration. May this meeting reflect our shared desires to build a community that honors every voice and benefits every household. We ask for your protection over our city, your guidance in our decisions, and your favor upon all that we do today. It's in your holy name that we pray. Amen and amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Members, please register your attendance. Madam Clerk, please take the roll.
All members are present with the exception of Councilman Smith.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We do have a few presentations. It's my pleasure to introduce Wally Burchett. Mr. Burchett, if you would, please approach. And you're recognized for a special presentation to the council.
Yes, it is a special presentation, Mayor. This is
It's
good.
hot.
I don't need this.
You don't
right?
need that.
I don't need that. Need it anytime, I don't think.
I think they can hear you in New Providence.
Thank you very much. All right, good evening, Mayor, City Council. Tonight I have an announcement and a presentation. The announcement is this week represents the book launch of Historic Clarksville 1784-2024. 392 pages covering our colorful and dynamic 240-year history. This has been a 2-year project, and I am thrilled to have been involved. This endeavor was structured as a private business collaboration between Burchett Media and the Customs House Museum. The final results are the museum has received 3,250 books at no cost, plus will receive 100% of the net profit. Books, I have to throw this in, books are now available at the museum gift shop and other selected outlets for $49.95. It is very noteworthy that Clarksville is one of a handful of cities in our entire country that could accomplish this project from start to finish. To begin with, the author is our very own Jimmy Settle. Every single element, the research, the writing, the editing, the photography, the graphic design, and yes, the printing was carried out by Clarksvillians. As the elected council members of our beautiful, fabulous city, I know that you join me in being very proud of this achievement. Also, I want to share that due to a donation from a local family, a total of 150 historic Clarksville books will be contributed and distributed throughout the area. And let me outline how that will be. Multiple copies will be placed in all 55 Montgomery County public and private schools, local and regional public libraries, Austin Peay State University Library, Nashville State Community College Library, and other institutions of higher learning libraries, Fort Campbell schools, and soon-to-be-open museum will have copies of this, and all Montgomery County assisted living facilities and nursing homes. In addition, copies will go to all current Clarksville City Council members, Montgomery County Commissioners, and County School Board members, along with the Tennessee Governor, Tennessee Historical Commission, and the National Library of Congress. So tonight, in recognition and appreciation of your public service, I take great pleasure in presenting each of you a copy of Historic Clarksville. Merry Christmas and God bless you.
Thank you, Wally, for that kind contribution to our city. The family that he referenced is the Burchett family that has a long and distinguished public service history in our community. And about 2 months ago, Councilman McLaughlin, a month ago, we rededicated the UNC Burchett Park over off Donna Drive in Clarksville. And at the time, his sweet mama, Wanda B., has a plaque in her home with a photograph of those who were there when the park was originally dedicated in memory of UNC Burchett, who served on this city council with great distinction. Well, we came up with the idea that we would give you another plaque. So we have a photograph of who was there in October. And Wally, if you'll come forward, we want to present this to you so you can give it to your sweet mama. And the brothers can fight over it. But it says, October 30th, 2025, celebrating the grand reopening and park revitalization of UNC Burchett Park. And we are proud to present this to you.
Thank you very
and
much.
thank you. You want to say a word?
I do this on behalf of our family. When the park originally opened, Dad passed 2 months after that, and so it has a really special place in our heart. And thank you for doing this. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
When Wally presented the books at the museum the other night, he said he'd hit the jackpot in brothers. And Jim and Eddie certainly are that. But you also hit the lottery with your parents. Because your dad and your mom, your dad was a great public servant, coach, and just a tremendous man who gave a lot to this city. And your mama continues to keep you boys in line. We know that. So, he spoke about the 240th anniversary or birthday of the city of Clarksville and our busyness in the season and in our regular business. We almost overlooked that, so we have a proclamation commemorating the 240th anniversary of the settlement of Clarksville, Tennessee. And if you'll allow me a moment and indulge me, council and ladies and gentlemen, in 1775, John Montgomery explored the Cumberland River with Caspar Mansker and likely identified the confluence of the Red and Cumberland Rivers as a potential area of settlement. Whereas in 1780, Moses Renfro arrived at Red Paint Hill, near the mouth of the Red River, and broke from John Donaldson's flotilla. He established the Renfro Station along the Red River opposite Passenger Parsons Creek. Donaldson went on to settle the French Lick, later Nashville. And in 1784, John Montgomery identified a need for a town downstream of Nashville. He and Martin Armstrong completed a survey of 640 acres. South of the Red River, Armstrong laid out 200 acres of this survey and filed notice for the town of Clarksville, named for George Rogers Clark, on January 16, 1784. A fort or blockhouse was later built near the spring at the corner of Commerce and Spring. This is known as the Town Spring. In October 1784, George Bell established Bell Station opposite the mouth of the West Fork. According to Hugh Bell, this was the first station in Clarksville. The nearest neighbors were 18 miles away in Sulphur Fork. And whereas Clarksville was established by the North Carolina Legislature in December 29, 1785, until this time it had been Davidson County, North Carolina. This makes Clarksville the second oldest city in Middle Tennessee behind Nashville. And whereas the act appointed John Montgomery, Anthony Bledsoe, Anthony Crutcher, William Polk, and Lardner Clark as the town's first commissioners. The principal inhabitants of Clarksville at the time were John Montgomery, Anthony and William Crutcher, Amos Bird, George Bell, Robert Nelson, and Amos McAllister. Now, therefore, I, Joe Pitts, Mayor of the City of Clarksville, call this milestone to the attention of all citizens and encourage everyone to join in celebrating this anniversary, reflecting on our shared history and embracing the promise of years ahead. Let's give our city a round of applause. Next, we have Councilman Zacharias. You have presentations.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. A few minutes ago, Pastor Teal prayed for boldness to act with courage. And tonight I want to introduce you to two people that I have the pleasure of working with or around every day. So Stephanie and Murphy, if you could please join me up here. Hello. So most of you know I'm a middle school teacher at Kirkwood Middle School. I teach STEM. 2 weeks ago today, actually, a student, a sixth grade student in the cafeteria started to choke. Totally obstructed airway. Murphy is the only one that noticed. And if you have ever been in a middle school cafeteria, that's probably enough to end the story there. But Murphy did exactly what he should have done. He went and found the first adult that he could find to render aid, and that's where he found Miss Stephanie, our lead custodian. Miss Stephanie administered the Heimlich maneuver, cleared the obstruction, and saved that child's life. So I'm going to read the certificate, and then I'm going to give the honorees an opportunity to say a few words. So, City of Clarksville, Office of the Mayor, Lifesaver Certificate awarded to Murphy Stenger and Stephanie Przinski in recognition of your courage and quick thinking that saved a life on November 21st, 2025. Your bravery in a moment of crisis is an inspiration to all and has earned you the deepest gratitude and respect of the community. And it's signed by myself and Mayor Joe Pitts.
Awesome. Thank you. Are you a little shy? Okay.
You want to say a few words?
Have nothing to say.
In that case, I'll say thank you. We're very proud of both of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And Councilman McLaughlin, I believe you have some presentations. Oh, it's Mr. Reagan. I'm sorry. Come on up. I got my wires crossed. It's the red.
You want to stay? Yeah. Thank you, sir. First, if our folks from the wastewater division of gas and water will come forward. These are the managers of our sewer division and our wastewater treatment plant. And they are being recognized tonight for 1 year of receiving no violations at our wastewater treatment plant, which is, yes, thank you. As you can imagine, a wastewater treatment plant, all that has to go in it, the biology, the state and the federal regulations, and all that they're asked to do and tasked to do with every single day. And a violation can stem from something that's being 1 day, 1 hour off on a sample, to a percentage on a piece of machinery the wrong way, forgetting to file a piece of paperwork, anything to that. So for that to happen all day long or all year long is a great achievement. I believe this is the first time we've ever accomplished this. Twice? Well, there you go. Even better. Even twice. In recent years, though, that we've done this twice. And that's a testament to these folks, the men and women who work at our wastewater treatment plant. And they received an award at the Clean Water Professionals of Kentucky and Tennessee Operational Excellence Award. They received that at the Kentucky-Tennessee Water Professionals Conference on July 29, 2025. And it was presented to Clarksville having no more than one violation of its National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit. Say that 3 times fast. In a 12-month reporting period, and that's from the whole year of 2024. So again, I just want to say thank you for all that you do day in. The unsung heroes, as you can imagine, they're tucked away. They don't ever get the recognition that they deserve. So I'm very proud of y'all for what you do. So thank you. And then next, if our team from water operations will come up. Yeah, thank you, sir. The reason they're brought up tonight, in 2025, every year, or roughly every 18 months, the TDEC, Department of Environmental Conservation for Environment and Conservation for the state of Tennessee, they come in and do a sanitary survey of our entire water operations. And that goes from our engineering department at the planning phase to sampling new development, to distribution of that through our water tanks, right down to the painting of those, the treatment of the water, all the way basically from the time we draw it out of the river to the tap and everything that's involved in that. And that sanitary survey is made up of all those factors, and it's 599 points, I believe it is, that to be gained. You start at 0 and you go from there. And in 2025, we received a 100, a perfect score on that sanitary survey. Thank you. Again, a tough accomplishment, and we've lived through a time where if you did receive one, you would not receive one again the next time you had a survey. But I'm proud to say this team right here has received them back-to-back years multiple times. And I believe in the last 10 surveys, you've received six 100s. Yeah, 6 100s in a sanitary survey, and it's that excellent because of this team. All of this team together here has made it that way since that time. I looked at the numbers and I sent those to the mayor, where we went from a time of having like an 87, something like that. Some of these individuals started coming on board, moving into place. We went to a 90-something. Chris come on board, argued with the state, got that score raised up. And since we started receiving those hundreds, we've not gone below a 99 or a 98. So 98, yes. And again, once again, just like the sewer, that can be from a sample being off, a date being off, a piece of paper not being filed. at times. I'm not running the state down, but it could be an inspector in a bad mood, and I'll just leave that at that. So, again, just a testament to the great work the men and women of our water division does every day. So, just want to say thank you for all you do.
Oh, good. He's got it hanging in his room. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Good leadership. Well, I kind of wish we could just end it right here on good news, but we'll proceed. The next item, got a second? I want to put that to a vote. All right. Next item is the Planning Commission report and public hearing. Councilman Streetman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Madam Clerk, will you read the three ordinances and resolution before us tonight?
Ordinance 38, 2025-26, first reading. An ordinance amending the zoning code and map of the city of Clarksville, application of legacy nursery and landscape for a zone change on a tract of land at the northern terminus of Kennedy Lane from C4 Highway Interchange District to C5 Highway and Arterial Commercial District. Ordinance 43, 2025-26, first reading. An ordinance amending the city zoning ordinance of the city of Clarksville as it pertains to citywide electronic message center signage regulations. Resolution 34, 2025-26, a resolution approving abandonment of portions of Howard Street, Lincoln Drive, and Ernest Shelton Drive. And Ordinance 44, 2025-26, first reading, an ordinance adopting the Britton Springs Neighborhood Plan.
Councilman Streetman.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Madam Clerk. Mayor, I move we go into public hearing.
Motion been made and properly seconded to revert to public hearing without objection. We are now in public hearing. First item on our public hearing list is item A, ordinance 38, 2025-26. An ordinance amending the zoning code map of the city of Clarksville, application of legacy nursery and landscape. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak in favor of ordinance 38? If you would, please come to the microphone and give us your name and you have 5 minutes.
Hello, my name's Lisa Wiles.
If you'll come a little closer,
Sorry.
it won't hurt you. Just come a little closer. There you go.
Hello, my name's Lisa Wiles. I live in the Meadows of Hearthstone, which is the neighborhood at the end of Kennedy Lane. And I've lived there since 2002, which is a very long time. When I first lived there, there was nothing on Kennedy Lane. It was just the environment. And it was very nice. And so I've lived there and seen everything that's happened. I've lived there before Chick-fil-A was there. So I know all about the traffic issues. So when thinking about what they would like to do at the end of Kennedy Lane, it's the best that could possibly happen. I know that is going to eventually become something. So when thinking about it becoming something, because everything else on that road has become something. We had a nightclub, which was a disaster, which we tried to stop. We have one hotel that's already there that has sex offenders in it and all kinds of travel issues. It has people that walk up and down Kennedy Lane day and night. We've already had one person killed on that road because of that. There's no sidewalk there. But still, every single day and night, you have people walking constantly on that road. Now we have another hotel going up. It's already a traffic nightmare. They already block the road almost at least once a week, block it constantly on both sides. So that's already a nightmare. The new subdivision, which you approved that went in, that they're still building on, that has been a nightmare. It has flooded most of our subdivision and still continues to flood. The people that are living there, the school system doesn't even go through and pick up in that neighborhood. They stop at the road, and those students have to come all the way to the road. Uber and all that stuff doesn't even drop people off in that neighborhood because they can't find it. I saw on my Facebook today where a lady was dropped off in our Meadows of Hearthstone when she lived in that neighborhood and she had dementia. So nobody knew how to get her where she went. So that's been a nightmare. This proposal is the best of any world. I would hate to see another hotel or an apartment complex go at the end of that neighborhood, into that road. Because that would be a lot more traffic with more people walking. It would not be a good fit. This is the best fit. This would be environmentally friendly for whatever animals we still have. Because I still have deer come in my backyard, which is great. So this is still going to support the environment that is back there. It's going to be the least amount of traffic that that road could see, by far. So I support this, as would most of my neighbors. They really want nothing, but that's not going to happen. I've lived there long enough to know that's not going to happen. So I support this, as would most of my neighbors, because it's the best thing that could happen. So I appreciate your time, and I hope you would consider that. Thank you.
Thank you. We may have questions. Hang on, Ms. Wiles. Councilman Streetman, you're recognized.
Yes, ma'am. I understand that this proposal that is brought forward is what you would consider to be the best option you could have back there. But I just want to make sure you understand that this zoning request actually increases what can go into that. So although his plan is to do a nursery or not quite sure, but what his plan is with that is to sell plants, that type of thing. By changing from a C4 to C5, you're pretty much opening.
You're recognized on point of order.
Mayor.
I'm allowed to ask questions,
I don't
right?
think this is the appropriate time to be discussing the bad or good side on somebody that's come to present their case to the council.
She is just merely making a point that about the zoning change is not for the project, but for the parcel. You're recognized, Councilman Streetman.
Thank you, sir. That this change from a C4 to a C5 opens it up to basically every commercial opportunity that could go back there, which would include automobile repair, showrooms for sales, pretty much every opportunity for commercial. This is the most intense commercial opportunity. So
What's it zoned for now?
it's zoned for C4 right now.
Which is what?
Which is one step lower than the C5.
Well, what could go in C4?
There's a lot of things that can go in C4. What I was referencing was things that can go in C5 that can't go in C4. So
Okay,
the C5
so-
is the top.
C4 is what?
C4 is also commercial zoning.
So what goes in that?
A lot of different.
Hotels?
Hotels can go in there, but it can also go in C5. I'll verify that before I answer that. I don't know that hotels can go in there, but retail can go in there as far as showrooms. I could, if you'd like, I can sit here and list them off, but I don't want to take everybody's time for doing that. What can go in there is you can have antique shop and dealers. You can have an apparel shop, art gallery. You can have an auction house with no livestock. You can have automobile sales. You can have boat dealers, building contract supply and showroom. You can have cabinet and countertop sales, camera, photography, supply, film developing, retail, carpet and upholstery cleaning, child care facility, consignment store, crematory.
I think that's,
Thank you. Sorry. Like I said, I don't want to list it all off. There's just considerably more that can go in there. So should the business not succeed, then you have a lot of other opportunities that can go in there that can't go in there right now.
So why can't he use the zoning that's there?
Because it's not eligible for that. That is not one of the ones that are eligible under C5, under C4. There is ag commercial, but not C4,
So why is nursery not ag commercial?
because it's not as one of the zoned uses that can be used. Nursery is commercial. It can go in C5, it can go in ag commercial, it can't go in C4.
So
I
it's-
just wanted to make sure you were aware that it's not just this that we have to look at it. It's all of the uses that can go in there that we have to look at. That's the only thing I wanted to
Yeah,
make
I
sure
was
you
just letting
understood.
you know how I and probably most of my neighbors would feel and why.
I understand.
So you can take that, I'm supporting him because of what he says he wants to do, and that would be great.
All I wanted to do was make sure you were aware of the other options that would be before you. Should that business not succeed, then these other types of businesses could go in there.
Okay.
That's the only thing I wanted to make sure you were aware of the whole picture. Thank you.
Councilman Holloman for Ms. Wiles.
Thank you, Mayor. Just real quick, if this was to pass tonight, just with it going C5, if that is what they're trying to do is have a nursery and have a plant business, then it would be in the neighborhood's best interest to make sure that that business survives. Because, if it tanks, then you could have a much worse situation commercially speaking. And so I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. If we are to approve it tonight, if I lived in that neighborhood, I'd be like, man, this business, I'm gonna definitely shop here and like, gotta make sure it survives. Just something to think about. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Councilman Peters, you're recognized.
I just want to clarify, I don't believe this is considered a nursery anymore. I think he changed it to garden center. And under garden center, he would be able to go there under C4. He just wouldn't be allowed to have greenhouses. And that's a point of contention also. So that's something we need to discuss. I don't think it's fair for us to sit here and tell this man that he cannot build a garden center in this area. I mean, I understand the traffic situation, but I agree with the person who's speaking here. I think that, for this area, that's the best possibility to go in there. And if we got to change something or do something to allow him to have a greenhouse, since he's not going to be growing anything, he's not germinating seeds, he's just going to use it for his wintertime storage. I don't see an issue with it. That's all I got to say, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Ms. Wiles? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience that wishes to speak in favor of ordinance 38? Yes, sir. If you'll come forward, give us your name. You have 5 minutes.
Mayor Pitts and council members, my name is David Thompson. I'm the owner of Legacy Nursery Landscapes. Here this evening to just, I guess, to answer any questions. There seems to be a lot of conjecture about what we intend to do with this site and the methods and so forth in which merchandise is stored. Just want to help clear that up. I do have, I guess, just kind of a little bit of background about myself. I am a Clarksville native, Clarksville, Montgomery County native. My family owned a local restaurant here in town years ago, a barbecue place. We are part of the local chamber, so I mean we intend to be very good stewards of the opportunity that we have to open this business here in this community. And I really feel like we offer something that the community is really asking for, if you will. I mean, we have a good customer base now, and I'm asked all the time, when are you going to be able to move into your new site? And I'm left with just not a good answer at this point. But I'm here tonight to basically, clear up any confusion about what we intend to do. When we originally put the property under contract, we were told by the Building and Codes Department that with extensive conversation about the type of merchandise that we intend to sell, that C4 was suitable for what we intended to do. And it was very clear in the beginning. Thank you for the clarification, Councilman Peters, on Garden Center. It's been that from the very beginning. I know there's a lot of discussion about plants and plant material and that sort of thing. We have a what in the industry, a nursery is a business that is connected in plant production. So we currently do that, but we do it in a completely different location. This is going to be a garden center, landscape supply center that carries plants and other merchandise related to that type of business. I know most of us in the room have probably been to a business similar to that, and you kind of know that there's some seasonal things that go on. There's, but we intend for this to be a very aesthetically appealing site. The lay of the land makes it very conducive to being able to have some displays of landscaping and that type of thing, botanical type of layout that I think customers would, it would be pleasing, if you will. I do have some documents. Again, tonight I'm not here to point fingers or anything, but I do have some documents that I'll share with you. I've been able to speak to most of you and kind of give a little backstory on how we arrived here tonight. It wasn't our original intention to do a zoning change. When we put the property under contract, we set a 90-day close date. The previous owner was willing to move forward with a zoning change if we needed to do it at that time. And if it wouldn't have passed, then we wouldn't have purchased the property. So we did get the approval to move forward with C4 zoning and during our due diligence period. And so we did close the sale. Then following that, as we went before the Regional Planning Commission for site plan approval, the whole process started over again about this being a nursery that is engaged in plant production as opposed to being a retail garden center. So I'd be happy to share any of that information with you this evening
If you'll give that to Sergeant Post, he'll distribute that. And we do have questions for you, Mr. Thompson.
Okay,
Councilman
sure.
Lovato, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have a question. I just want to say, I'm extremely grateful for you giving me a phone call and for, talking me through your vision. I am extremely sympathetic to your situation, and I love the vision that you have for that area. I do think that it is a good fit, and I know a lot of your neighbors love this idea as well. But in Tennessee, we can't do conditional zoning. And so once we say as a council, hey, this area is zoned for this, that's where our authority ends. And we can't say what can go there and what can't go there going further. So with the traffic and the public safety concerns, I cannot support any rezoning or any site plans for that Kennedy Lane area until they have a second way in and out for all the reasons that the previous speaker articulated. So again, I just wanted to say, I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're trying to do. And this is such a tough no for me, but I wish you luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lovato.
Councilman Chandler, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few quick questions. Number one, how many times were you told that C4 would fit this business, and who told you that?
So the original conversation was with Mr. Kimberling. He was the Director of Building and Codes in 2023 when we put the property under contract. So in the paperwork that's circulating right now, there's a basic timeline that kind of goes through that. So there was extensive conversation with Mr. Kimberling concerning, this was verbal, but concerning the type of merchandise. He did his due diligence. He asked a lot of different questions about the type of business that we intended to run. And he came back to me on, I think it was 3 or 4 different times before he finally said that I've talked to different ones and we feel like this fits in the C4 zoning based on the retail sales of, there's similar businesses. I won't mention names, but he did mention a name of a business that is in close proximity that's operating C4 retail and has some of this similar merchandise. So fast forward to December, January timeframe of this year, as we went before the Planning Commission for site plan approval, this came up again. reached out to the building and codes, and Mr. Crosby, I was made aware at that time, was now the director, and Mr. Kimberly was no longer there. And you'll see in some email conversation or email correspondence there that we were given basically the same information, that if we're bringing the merchandise in and not producing it on site, that it would still fit in the C4 zoning. If we're producing it on site, then no, it would not.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Thompson, who told you that it had to be C5?
So there was conversation about rezoning, and I think you'll see some of that in the email from Building and Code. And the three classifications that allow for the term nursery are C2, C5, and ag commercial. So there was not a recommendation from the Planning Commission, obviously, to what type of zoning that we needed to pursue. We did a little bit of research on what other like businesses in the community in similar locations, what their zoning was. And so C5, and then talking with Building and Codes, C5 seemed to be a good fit. And again, it's not our intention to do anything else whatsoever with this property than what we're proposing. No.
Have you had any of the people that live in the neighborhood tell you no, give you down the road, or?
There has been, no, just the answer to that is no. There has been quite a bit of support. My son also lives in the neighborhood, and there's a neighborhood Facebook page that seems to be that, there's been support within the neighborhood, and Ms. Wiles also sharing tonight that neighbors have been, positive towards that. As I've been on the property, we had spent several months doing quite a bit of cleanup and that sort of thing with the area. I had people show up and ask, hey, what are you doing here? And so we kind of went through the conversation with them, and they seemed to be very positive about the type of business that we intend to operate on this parcel.
Thank you, sir. That's all, Mayor.
Councilman Streetman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Thompson, what is your reason for requesting C5 rather than ag commercial, which ag commercial does offer the same opportunity to do this without opening it up to all the options that are available for C5?
So again, back to the like businesses that are in the community, that seem to be what other than one, I don't want to talk about anyone, but we do have a like business that's operating outside of it's not allowed in that particular zoning. But one of the biggest things, I guess, with ag commercial is it is a down zoning, and it's just like our homes, right? I don't want to intentionally do something to make the property less desirable or devalue the property. And I don't know that from a tax standpoint that ag commercial does that. I mean, I'm sure that from a value standpoint, the tax calculations are probably in line with all commercial establishments. But with ag commercial, that limits the value, I guess, of the property. Now, had we been going through this process during the due diligence, which is where this really should have landed, we could have been able to negotiate a different price, but we paid C4 market price for the property. And so that's why there's apprehension with that.
Well, I know when I asked you the question at the RPC, what you stated was that in the event that your business didn't make it, you wanted to be able to resell it to someone else at the higher value than it would be ag commercial.
At the same value that we purchased the property at. So it's just like your home,
No,
right?
I understand. I just knew that was what you stated at the RPC, was you wanted to make sure that in case this didn't make it, you had the opportunity to still sell it at the higher amount.
That is true. I mean, we hope, I wish you could guarantee that the business would do well and not fail, and it wouldn't matter what it's owned. I mean, I don't intend to do anything else with the property. But in the event that the number one rule in investing is,
Will your site plan stay the same as that you presented previously to the RPC, should you get the zoning for C5?
well, we have a site plan right now that shows a area for greenhouses, but that's labeled as containerized merchandise. And so I don't know what else to call it, because if you go to like a garden center, you go to Walmart, they have greenhouses and they're more elaborate than we'll put in initially, but they, they hold different, not only plant material, but they hold other types of merchandise. And that's pretty typical of any garden center. We'll have a retail building that we'll start with. And, I guess the simplest way to put it is we'll need to grow this business. We don't have, we're limited with our resources. We need to grow this business organically. So I would love to go put a 30,000 square foot building up and fill it with merchandise and off to the races, but we just don't have the resources to do that. So to answer your question, do we intend to change the site plan? I know there's some talk about some different wording, if you will, to the ordinance. It depends on what comes out of it. The general layout, no, we do not intend to change
Because I
that.
know according to showing on the site plan, the retail spot is very small compared to all of where the greenhouses would be.
Well, so it's a retail building that would have gardening utensils, fertilizer, things that need to stay dry would be in that building, and we're placing it in an area that it could be expanded, right? But a lot of the merchandise will be staged outside, outdoors, if you will. If you've got hardscape material, things like that's not going to be in a building. So
So the greenhouses, would people be able to go in the greenhouses and buy them?
yes, absolutely. Yes, it's just like going to any retail. I mean, during the growing season, plants don't necessarily have to be in a greenhouse. Depends on whether they're shade or sun plants. If you got a shade plant that's in a full sun area, obviously you need to have a structure that will accommodate that particular type of plant. But during the winter months, a lot of times most inventory will need to be inside, and that's what the greenhouses are for. But yes, that whole area will be open to customers, just like any other garden center. I mean, when you go to a garden center, there's lots of different layouts, and so it's the entire site would be open to the consumer.
Okay, all right, thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. No more questions? Thank you.
Okay.
Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak against ordinance 38? Next item on our public hearing list is item B, ordinance 43. First reading, an ordinance amending the city zoning ordinance of the city of Clarksville as it pertains to citywide electronic message center signage regulations. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak in favor of ordinance 43? Anyone in the audience wish to speak against ordinance 43? Next item is item C, resolution 34, 2025-26. A resolution approving abandonment of portions of Howard Street, Lincoln Drive, and Ernest Shelton Drive in the Lincoln Homes redevelopment. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak in favor of resolution 34? Yes, sir. If you would, Bishop, come forward, give us your name, and you have 5 minutes.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Calvin Lockett. I am the senior pastor of Christ the Healer Church, and I serve as the chair of the Board of Commissioners for the Clarksville Housing Authority. A couple of years ago, there was a resident engagement meeting with the members of the Lincoln Homes community. The residents were excited, or they were apprehensive. There were mixed emotions, even concerning the possibility of a tax credit application being approved so that the Lincoln Homes community could be redeveloped. 3 weeks ago, we had another resident engagement meeting with the residents of the Lincoln Homes community, not concerning the possibility of the Lincoln Homes community being developed, but concerning the reality that 2 tax credit applications had been approved. The residents came out and they were able to have input on the design of the buildings. They were able to pick colors, both for the exterior and the interior fixtures. And they're very, very excited about this project. I'd like to recommend 4 reasons, ask the board to consider, or ask the council rather to consider 4 points in approving this legislation. Point number 1, any delay in right-of-way improvements and road abandonment will cause challenge in federal approval of our relocation and financing plans that need to be submitted this month to HUD. Point of consideration number 2, we need HUD approval to close in June to meet tax credit deadlines by the IRS. HUD will take up to 6 months for final approval, start to finish. We have to submit these documents this month to make these critical deadlines. Point of consideration number 3, site plans must be finalized for this submission because they drive the demolition, the construction, and the financing schedules and the resident relocation plan. Finally, point of consideration number 4, we have already drafted the start of these plans based on the Regional Planning Commission approval. We anticipate completing them by December 15th. The final plan is waiting on construction pricing that went out the day after the Regional Planning Commission meeting. Our ask is for the city to finalize these reviews and approvals now, because we also need to submit them to HUD and meet the multiple deadlines surrounding this project. I'm here tonight not on behalf of myself, not on behalf of the other commissioners, but on behalf of the residents that we serve and the people in the Lincoln Homes community. In Romans chapter 12, the Apostle Paul pleaded with the church at Rome concerning their living, representing themselves, or that they would present themselves to God in a way that honored him. Here's what he said. He said, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. He was literally begging them. He was pleading with them in order to conduct themselves accordingly. Like the Apostle Paul tonight, I am not asking you, I am pleading with you. I am begging you to approve this legislation because our hearts are with the residents of Lincoln Homes. Thank you.
Questions for Bishop Lockett? Councilman Smith, you're recognized.
Thank you. Thank you, Bishop Lockett. I have a letter here from Don, who is the director and consultant for the Housing Authority. She wanted me to read. But since you've already brought this forth in a great manner, you have explained the reason why you want us to vote for Resolution 34, 2025, 26 to approve the amendments of portions of Howard Street, Lincoln Drive, and Ernest Shelton. So it's no need for me to read the letter that she sent, because you already have spoken what she has said in this letter. And she also stated that y'all have received the letter of award, and I think it totals about $35 million. Is that correct?
Yes.
And y'all
Tax
already,
credit, yeah.
Tax credit, that's right. One was a 1.7 million and 1.8 million, something like that. And so she said that if there was any delay, it would cause you all to lose the money. Is that correct?
Well, we don't want to lose the money.
Right.
That's our fear.
Right.
Because if you lose it,
It's hard to get it back.
there's no way. As a matter of fact, the Development Council said earlier this week that if we lose these monies, that we won't be considered to get them again.
So the Clarksville Housing Authority is working in relationship with the co-developer Gorman and Company. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I think this is a good thing. I think we need to go ahead and move forward on this because it says here that we need HUD's approval to close in June of 2026. Is that correct?
Yes.
To meet the tax credit deadlines by the RIS, HUD would take up to 6 months for final approval and from start to finish. And we have to submit these documents this month. So it is a crucial deadline that you all are trying to meet, and that's
Yes.
why you want us to pass this resolution.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Councilman Marquis, you're recognized.
Thank you. With regards to the two tax credits, do you know how many cities in the state of Tennessee received any of them?
I don't know specifically. I really don't. I just know that we received them.
Yes. So from my research, I believe that we were the only city in the state that received any.
Yeah.
And it's a very competitive, to even get one, and we somehow got two. So then I guess my next question is if you could just verify it. I believe, I didn't write it down, if I remember correctly from a phone call, that a third of the structures are currently uninhabitable within Lincoln. So you have to remodel and rebuild and something like
Right.
that.
Right. A significant amount of the buildings in Lincoln have what we call structural damage. And that means, obviously, they were built in the 40s.
Yeah.
And so, you know, a significant amount of them, roughly a third, I don't have that number, but I do know that there are a significant amount of them. That's why we applied for the tax credit application so that we could rebuild, because there are a significant amount that are uninhabitable, yeah.
And then I guess the last one, with regards to the abandonment, because once we abandon it, the city is no longer going to maintain that road. And I guess with the timing also of the weather, do you guys have a plan come January, February on how to deal with ice, snow, and any kind of weather events along that road?
Well, I'm sure that that Gorman, the development company, have really they've thought through that. They're the professionals. It's not just the Clarksville Housing Authority, but we brought in professionals that have done these projects all throughout the United States. And so these types of issues are issues that they're used to working through and providing guidance on.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Brown, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. So if this is some reason delayed 1 month, what do you foresee the consequences of that? Is this is just abandoning the road? So what could you see happening because of that if it's delayed 1 month?
Well, the approval is for the site plan to get moved forward. I don't know as it relates to, okay, if we miss 1 month, then it'll put us back behind. I don't know the sequence. But all of us know that in construction, that there are inevitables that come up. Anytime you have construction, I have a friend, a dear friend of mine, is Pastor Mike Burnett, who pastors Life Points. He's building Life Point on Tiny Town. He was hoping to have Life Point done in November, and he won't go in into it until the end of the month, because there are things that happen in construction that we cannot predict. And so the things that we can control, we ask that just consider those things so that we won't have to deal with those things in any delays, to cause any delays.
Well, I just wonder if delaying this a month would interfere with the contractor getting their part done, and would there have to be change orders that cost additional monies for the contractor to delay getting these roads, control of them to where they could start?
The concern is getting plans turned in. Approving this will improve plans that need to be submitted to HUD so that we can begin the project. We can't begin the project without the approval here tonight.
Okay, thank you,
sir.
Councilman McLaughlin, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for coming tonight, and I'm sure that you heard about the frustration that I vocalized on this on Monday. The only power that we have is appointing members to the Housing Authority. Then the burden rests on you. Yet we get pictures and emails and video of the conditions of Lincoln homes that people have been living in under the 4 years that the interim director has been in charge. And I do see that this project is going to be beneficial to the residents, and hopefully under our new director, things will get taken care of, maintenance will be taken care of. We won't have, too many properties offline. There'll be a partnership with the police department so they can access the cameras so people can feel safe when they see cameras. That's my concern, is people deserve to have a place that they feel safe and protected and operable. And I have zero confidence in the current interim director in that position. And we have been in positions before where there's been a seeking of a permanent director, and that hasn't happened. I myself feel like I need to wait at least 30 days until you all have a chance to review the applicants that you have. And I feel like you're closer to finding somebody that really cares about the people that live in these communities and makes sure that everything is handled properly. But I do appreciate you being here. I hope you understand my perspective. Our hands are tied when there are reports of things happening in the housing authority. We can't do anything. We can't do anything at all, but worry about what the next steps are. And I'm hopeful that you guys will find the future leader of the housing authority that will really put the people first.
Well, let me just say this in reference to your concern about hiring a new director. We're in the process of doing that. And I'm pretty sure, your daughter is on the board, so you know that we are meeting this Wednesday. And the ball is in that direction with doing so. I'm asking this tonight, your ask, because we have momentum going in the right direction. We just don't want to slow this process up so that we'll have to come back and tell the residents of Lincoln Homes that, we had it here, but we didn't meet critical deadlines. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Brown, you recognized.
Sorry, but do you have an idea of when you think y'all may pick the new director?
Within the next month, because again, we're having a meeting this coming Wednesday, and then we have to do interviews. They have to come here. We do interviews from afar. Then we have to have them to come here, and so theoretically within the next month.
Because here's, just my thought is, if we move this forward tonight, we still have to have a second reading in January.
No, this is
No?
a resolution, one reading,
So this is just one. Okay,
one shot.
all right. So never mind then.
Councilman Smith, you recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I talked with Ms. Sanders, the Director of Community Housing Authority, the Clarksville Housing Authority, not community, but I asked her about what was said, that she would be leaving and everything, and that they wanted not to vote this down, or because they didn't feel like she was capable of handling this, getting it done. But I see that the ball has started to rolling. Y'all finally got the money. It's been a long time going. And I remember when I was at the meeting, how they were saying, well, we're waiting on the federal government to approve the tax credits. So I've been to several of the meetings over there. And I asked her, when would she be leaving? And she said, there has not been a hearing yet to determine the transition, because she said she didn't expect to leave maybe until the end of next year. And so with that, I'm saying that we need to go ahead and keep the ball rolling, because it took a long time to get the money. Doesn't mean that she can do anything with the money except for what the board approves, because it is ran by a board, not just by her. And I told her, I said, you can be here tonight in case they have questions. And she said, we already have the commissioners there who will answer questions. And I said, okay. So she said that will probably be next year. But if we delay this, what we're doing is hindering progress for Lincoln Homes. I know that those public houses have been dilapidated since the 50s and 60s. Cracks in the walls. I walked through them. I know it is terrible to live in, and that's why they have allowed some of the residents to move out and not put anybody back in those dilapidated buildings. And so I think we need to vote this in so that we won't delay anything when the new director come in. We just need to go ahead and let them get this approved so that they won't lose the money. It's been a long time going. I know we always want to delay something, but I think this is a great move forward to help them to get this ball rolling. It's been a long time coming. And so they got this 35 million, and I think we need to let them keep the money. I mean, she can't do nothing with it unless the board say so. So we need to make that move. And I think it'd be a great move for Clarksville to finally get something done in Lincoln Homes, where it has been considered dilapidated for a long time. And so we need to do something to make that move. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilman Shekinah, you're recognized.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Thank you there, Pastor Lockett, for the, not only the presentation, but the response to all the questions that came your way. And like you said, there is a lot of things that we can't predict, but the one thing for sure we can predict is what's before us. So I support it, and I hope many members of the council support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions for Bishop Lockett? Starting to call you Bishop Shekinah. All right. Thank you, sir. Anyone else in the audience wish to speak in favor of Resolution 34? If you'll come forward and give us your name, and you have 5 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. I am Trina Hill. I am the resident commissioner, and I came here this evening to put a human face to what is on the board, facing the board this evening. I am a resident of Lincoln Homes, and I've been a resident since August of 2011. And I have seen the changes that has taken place since Mrs. Garrett came on board late October of 2000. Prior to her arriving, there was no movement. There was talk about in 2010 about some things happening, but never anything came to fruition. She has been the driving force to get us not one, but 2 9% tax credits, which is unheard of. Not only that, when I came to Lincoln Homes, you know, in the summertime, summer madness, there was a shooting every other weekend. That place has been cleaned up. There's more light. It looks like Sunday morning, afternoon, in the middle of the night, because we have lights. I feel safe. There's no longer riffraff living there. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you're not there anymore, because the residents deserve to be safe and have a clean place to live. We have worked very hard. And as a resident, for you to vote this down says to me that you are really not about servicing all the residents of Clarksville, Tennessee. I live there, and I've been there for a long time. It is past time. These buildings are over almost 75 years old. Who would want to live in a place where you're not able to have proper renovations? I know you don't live in your home and you don't do proper renovations. However, it's hard to do that when the plumbing is in cement. There are drainage issues, plumbing issues that need to be addressed. Also, a lot of the apartments some of the apartments that are offline are waiting for relocation because residents have to be moved somewhere. So I'm asking you, I'm imploring you to consider passing this, because it's not just personal situations, because if something that you're not aware of or you need clarification of, that's a simple phone call and a meeting and a sit down and a conversation that could have been had, and the issue could have been resolved. As a person that lives here every day, I've raised my son here, I've gone to college there, I've done everything I needed to do, and I, as a resident, deserve to live in a clean, safe, modern place like everyone else on this board does. You choose where you live. Sometimes some of us don't get to choose. However, I deserve, like everyone else that lives in this community, to live the best life as well. So I'm imploring you, I'm asking you, and I'm almost want to get on my knees and beg you. It's past time. It's past time. Because in 2017, there was some talk about it again. Nothing came to fruition. Since she's been here, she's cleaned up and done a lot of things in that office with a small skeleton crew. The first year was cleaning up, doing SOPs and things of that nature. Within the last 2 to 3 years, people I heard was, well, what's taking so long? Well, did you forget August 21, 2021, when Waverly got wiped out? We had a tax credit application in. However, those people lost everything. So they should be put before everyone else. And that is one of the reasons why we didn't get it then. But we have been working on this for a very long time. And I'm asking you to please do the moral right thing for all the residents here in Clarksville, Tennessee. Thank you.
Question for Ms. Hill. Councilman Smith, you're recognized.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hill, for sharing your personal experience and how you have stood up to say something to open our eyes to understand that we all deserve to live better. And I know you said something about the crime over there. Would you say that most of the crime was not from the people that live over there? Because I know there's cameras over there, and what I've read, I've seen that it was people who's coming into the projects that have caused a lot of the problems over there some years ago. Now, and I know that she worked with the police to get those cameras up there on every end of the projects. And I see them. They're nice looking. I know they're working, but
She wrote a grant.
a grant.
She wrote a grant to get those new cameras. It took them approximately about 2 years to award that grant. But that is how those cameras were received, or we got those cameras. I will say this, when it came to the crime, I would say it's a kind of a mixture, because relationships,
Gotcha.
friends of,
Coming over.
and certain things. But that has been addressed. If you are in violation of your lease, things are handled expeditiously. They're going to warn you. They're going to tell you you need to clean it up. If you don't clean it up, then we go through the next steps. And I have seen the significant changes of this since I've been there. I remember when the police wouldn't even come over there unless it was drama, and that was right regular. Now it's free. Folks walk in doing the things freely. People were getting robbed just going to the corner store.
What amazes me is that Austin P is right next door to it, and they don't seem to have any problems with the Lincoln homes over there. They even used the pool over at Edith Pettis Park. They haven't had any problems, but it's problems everywhere in the city.
No place is immune. As
That's
long as
right.
there's human beings, there's no place immune to crime and issues,
Exactly.
relational issues, anything.
Exactly.
So Lincoln Homes community is not unique.
That's right.
It's not unique.
But I appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hill.
Thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak against Resolution 34? Next item is item D, Ordinance 44, 2025-26, an ordinance adopting the Britton Springs Neighborhood Plan. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak in favor of Ordinance 44? If you would, give us your name, and you have 5 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Jonathan Blake, 1540 Sale Road, just moved. So, but just wanted to shine some light on the Britton Springs plan. I represent several investors in the area, and we appreciate Mr. Peters for beating us out at some of our properties that we both existing and up and coming. And it's been a devastation on the area, and a lot of zoning requests prior to this light that's been shined by Britton Springs plan. And of course, you guys have hired them, so you obviously know that there is a need for this plan. So this is an area that had some devastation and loss. It has remained an area of devastation, looking for guidance. We've asked Reagan Smith to do this study as a strong need for a guide in the area based on their expertise in the neighborhood planning, which I think is well needed, as a lot of not only rezoning requests, but improvements in the area have been requested. Sidewalks, lighting, connectivity, and I believe the study covers all those bases. We hope that you agree in this plan and lead us with a direction. If this plan were to fail, we believe this would not give us any direction, causing us to run into circles in a devastated area. So just, would like you to consider adopting this plan, as we also went with the Red River plan. And if we weren't to adopt it or amend it, I would think that would shine a negative light on any future neighborhood plans. And I think that this neighborhood plan offers a lot of continuation of the comprehensive plan, and that's what Reagan Smith was going for. But I can answer any questions that you might have for me. And I know that at least there's a lot of, not a lot of pushback from the community, because I've been up here before with rezonings for you, that there's been a lot of signs on negativity and against that. So I just wanted to shine a light on that there's not a huge negative crowd out there for this plan. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, Mr. Blick. Any questions? Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else in the audience that wishes to speak in favor of Ordinance 44? Anyone in the audience wish to speak against Ordinance 44? We have room for two. Mr. Smith, if you'll give us your name, and you have 5 minutes.
David Smith, 318 Andrew Drive. I'd like to thank you for the time to address. I am a resident of that neighborhood and have been for 30 years. In a previous session, it was mentioned about the identity of the neighborhood. The identity of the neighborhood is probably 50 to older. Most of those people have lived in the neighborhood most of their lives, and they live in one-story ranch houses that have been there from the 60s to mine was built in 87, and there's some a little bit newer than that. This is not a neighborhood for tall and skinnies, for duplexes, for triplexes, or quadplexes. We have, on the north side of Britton Springs, you've got some townhouses right across the street, Fort Campbell Boulevard. You've got a huge apartment complex. All around this neighborhood is different types of housing. But in this neighborhood, it's only one-story, two-story, single-family homes. And there is a little bit of devastation left with the tornado, but not much. Most of these houses have been rebuilt. There's still a couple of open lots, and I have to disagree with the gentleman about the neighborhood. The second meeting that was held at Minglewood School, there were a lot of residents there, and they were very unhappy about the fact that we were going to change the zoning of the residences. There's no reason for it. There is a reason for sidewalks. There is a reason for connectivity, maybe CTS. There is a reason for maybe some traffic signs because Jordan Road is now Jordan is now a thoroughfare. People use it instead of using Fort Campbell Boulevard. They don't hit the posted speed limit. They don't stop at the stop signs. But all this can be settled through department heads, sitting down and talking about this. You know, no one came to the residents before Reagan Smith was hired and said, "What do you guys want?" Came to the meeting and they said, "Well, this is what we're giving you. This is what we put together for you." It wasn't what they want. So I would like to take this opportunity to hope you vote this down. And if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Any questions for Mr. Smith? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else in the audience that wishes to speak against Ordinance 44? Opie? If you would give us your real name, and you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Council. My real name is Earl Mintier. I hate that thing. Let's back up, okay?
Now, if you don't mind, so that folks at home can hear you.
Oh, they'll hear me, I guarantee it.
Come on, it won't bite you. Come on
But
closer.
everyone calls me Opie, which I enjoy that name. But what I'm here to say is I want to put a thought in your head. We want to build up the north side, Britton Springs area. Well, let me build a house for you before I put the sewer, the water, and electric here. Because you have to fix the infrastructure first before you can build. We still ain't even cleaned up yet from the tornado from Norris Drive to Bats Lane. I'm an engineer. I've spent 20 years in the military as an engineer, and I worked it before that. A culvert. They say a full moon. When you look through a culvert, you see the whole way through it, a full circle. Right there from Norris to Bats, it's half full of dirt. Then from there on down through is nothing but trees from the tornado. When's it going to get cleaned up? When's our roads going to get cleaned up? I hear they want to put sidewalks in. That's fine and dandy. But let's fix the other stuff first. Because you put sidewalks in, then you want to fix the roads. Now you got to tear the sidewalks up or the sewer line to fix this. Well, everybody there, our taxpayers, pay all the taxes to get the sidewalks in. Now we got to tear it up and redo it again. Let's start at the bottom and work up instead of the top and work down. That's my biggest thing. Stop signs there to slow traffic down on every four-way intersection. That's great. We need that because they fly up and down Eva Drive. And I won't say I do it, but I do speed on it sometimes. Okay? But nobody's there. Now, the other thing is the one-way. I hear you want to make Eva Drive a one-way. Now, who has a stopwatch on their wristwatch? Anybody? Or somebody count out, please. Can I have one person to count out? Because this is Eva Drive, and I want you to count from the time I start there until I get here for a one-way street. You ready? Somebody count. 12 steps. Now, this is going to be the one way because I can't walk down this way again. I got to come around Britton Springs to come down Eva. Now count it again, please. "21 steps. Now, first responders, fire, police, ambulance. Now, if they have to go around for an old person like me, because I've had a heart attack already, to get to my house, but if it's a two-way, they can come down Eva Drive, which is what, 10? That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm not against building. This city needs to expand. But if we don't fix the infrastructure, and that's been for 2 years now, I've been fighting this, there's no sense doing it because our taxes are going to go up, we're going to have more problems, and redo everything all over again. And that's really all I got to say.
Thank you, Mr. Mentier. Any questions for Mr. Mentier? Thank you very much. We now have time for rebuttal. If you're in favor of ordinance 44 and wish to offer rebuttal, we have room for one person. You will have 3 minutes. If you'll give us your name, please.
Hey, Jonathan Blick, just following back up here. You know, I think that the plan supports changes, but it's not in that interior subdivision, so that housing is not going to change. All those one-level ranches, some of them have been rebuilt, and if you'll notice, those that have been rebuilt, probably before the tornado, it was maybe a $200,000 house, and now they've rebuilt the same size. It's $350,000 is what they're selling, and I've sold a couple of those because the builder had a chance to build those for those people that were devastated by the tornado, and you know, just the connectivity and all these improvements, I think is going to come with the development. So on these main roads, I mean, my mother, she grew up in a trailer on Evans Road. So, you know, we understand the area and we know that there's improvements. Mobile homes are pretty strong in the area, but they're pretty much like a car. As soon as you drop them off the lot, they're losing value. If you build something that has more of a structure to it, you got longevity for not only the people that live there now, but the descendants of those people that live there. So we would just strongly encourage that kind of development in the area, just for the long-term equity value for those families. And, just speaking from experience in the area of trying to develop it, that's what we're talking about. But as far as the plan goes, we think it's a good plan. If there's some items that you don't like, maybe to edit those. And of course, this is a 20-year guide. It's not going to outlive me, I hope. I'm 34 years old, so that's 55. But, definitely would like to see that growth over Clarksville. So I appreciate it.
We have a question for you, Mr. Blick. Councilman Smith, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Blake, what are you doing to fix the infrastructure? If you're developing and building, what are you doing?
Yes, ma'am. So we've developed a couple areas. Our most predominant one recently was the R3 zoning on Evans Road. We've built 15 homes. They've all had new sidewalks put in for that area. We've upgraded the septic sewer system, and then put in some fire hydrants along the way as well. So, and that's just a small 2 to 3 acre tract. Was benefit enough that there was some on Dogwood and then on Evans Road, so we were able to improve both sides of the street. And there's a lot of area that the tornado came through, and we've had opportunity to buy more houses, and more vacant lots that people are just waiting for direction. And I would say that's a lot of what's going on between Bats Lane and Evans Road, as he was saying, that nobody's made any improvements because we're all waiting on this plan for a guide, and we're looking to you guys as leaders to guide us. So
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Councilman Markey, you're recognized for a question for Mr. Blick on the plan, please.
Yes, so you mentioned earlier how there are homes that are currently being made and sold at a higher price tag than what is assessed in that area. Since I believe 2029 is the next county assessment, what is, under what have you seen, what do those homes do to neighbors? Like when you start building in that manner, what happens to the people who already live there?
I would say that it encourages either people to stay or maybe redevelopment of those dilapidated homes, or like when it's a mobile home and all you can do is either put a mobile home back or a single family home, they're going to build back on that larger lot, and it's going to be a larger house, so it's $350 price range. So.
Well, and I guess where I'm going at with that is, since it's at the assessor's office, homes like that tend to eventually push out older community members. So I guess to the rest of council, since this is already happening, we risk putting those community members in danger of being pushed out by expensive homes, rather than allowing homes to be built within their same margin, is kind of where I'm going at.
I would say you're really correct on that. Us as developers, we go in there and we look at the area. We're not going to build a $500,000 house, $1 million house in that subdivision, but they may build a little bit higher, and eventually that kind of pushes somebody out, because I mean, if we're all building $220,000 houses, then it's all going to stay the same, But if we're pushing it here and pushing it here, eventually we just stair step and all of a sudden we're out of here, So, and we don't want to price anybody out of their current subdivision.
Okay, and then I guess if this plan were to be put in, how would that help you guys keep that price tag in line to keep the community together?
Well, I would say that it's more of a guideline and borders and such like that. So within those interior homes, I think that a lot of those have been developed, and so we're just going to stay where it's promoted, I guess, in the density lines. And so we're just trying to get affordability for not only the people that live there currently, but the future generation that's going to buy. Because, I mean, you know, if you're 18 to 25 right now, you can't afford it. I mean, in America, I think 34 and maybe 32 is the average buyer for any home. The rest of them, that younger generation, is primary rentals because they can't afford it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Blick. If you're against ordinance 44 and wish to offer sir rebuttal, we have room for one person. 3 minutes. If you would, give us your name.
Michael Hill.
Just get to the microphone then, Mr. Hill.
Michael Hill.
You're recognized.
Yeah, my biggest thing as far as the zoning and the houses, I still don't think you should be able to build like 4 or 5 houses on a one lot when the rest of the houses there are all, you know, you're just changing the complete structure of the whole neighborhood. On the one-way of Eva, first of all, what difference will it make if it's a one-way or a two-way, or, you know, both ways? It's been working that way for 50-something years. I don't see why it needs to be. And if I jump in my car and I drive down my road, I go down Eva, I go to the corner store, well, I'm going to go in the corner store. When I come back out of the corner store, I'm going to have to get on Fort Campbell Boulevard to get back into my neighborhood. I mean, does that make sense to you? I mean, I don't see how that, you know, and then with the new fire station on Jordan Road, they're going to come in from Jordan off across the parkway. And now they're going to have to go all the way down to Britton Springs just to get back, like Opie greatly showed you. I think it's going to be more than 1 or 2 steps, but, and then there's people that say that come up to the 4-way at Ambrose. I mean, the guy can see his driveway, but he can't turn left to go to his driveway. He's got to go straight down another whole block, make a left, make another left, come all the way back down that block to make another left to turn left into his driveway, when he could be 50 feet away from turning in his driveway. So the one-way of Eva, I don't know what that was supposed to fix, or all I see is breaking, not fixing anything. As far as the zoning, I just don't believe that many houses should be in one lot, you know, with that. And I'm not sure if that planning actually changed the zoning, but, because we had blocked it before, with Mr. Peters, had helped us with that. And, I guess that's it. Oh, the taxes went up 300%, by the way, because of the houses they did build, you know. So I guess just a smaller house on the big lot with 1, though, not 5 or 6 or 10, you know. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. We have a question hang before you sit. Councilman McLaughlin, you're recognized.
It's more of a statement. So the one-way street issue was a big concern at our meeting on Monday, and we were told that at the planning commission level, the planning commissioners amended the one-way street out. So that's no longer an issue. So I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that.
That was a big one.
Yeah. People can't drive one way on the streets downtown. They've been one way for 100 years. So.
Well, they don't stop at the stop signs. What makes you think they're gonna follow a one-way sign or a do not enter sign?
Right.
You know, especially for people that's been going into that neighborhood for many, many years,
Right.
never seeing it being a one-way. You know, if it was built a one-way 50 years ago, wasn't much you could do about it, you know?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hill.
Thank you.
That completes our public hearing. Councilman Streetman, you're recognized.
Mayor, I move we go back into regular session.
Motion been made to revert to regular session without objection. We are back in regular session. Councilman Streetman.
Thank you, Mayor. As a reminder, all motions based on legal advice are made for approval. Ordinance 38, 2025, 26, first reading, an ordinance amending the zoning code and map of the city of Clarksville, application of legacy, nursery, and landscape, GP, for a zone change on a tract of land at the northern terminus of Kennedy Lane from C4 Highway Interchange District to C5 Highway and Arterial Commercial District. Both the Regional Planning Commission and the staff recommended disapproval. I move for approval.
Motion been made and properly seconded in favor of ordinance 38. Councilman Streetman, you're recognized on ordinance 38.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm still opposed to this. We unanimously voted against this at the Regional Planning Commission level. Everything I heard today, still to me says that this is a nursery regardless of the change of name. My concern is putting even stronger commercial opportunities in the back of a neighborhood. And I did verify to see, yes, hotels could go there, whether it was a C4 or a C5. So that doesn't change that. But I still have concerns with putting that in the back of a neighborhood and opening up all the opportunities that could go into that neighborhood.
Councilman Marquis, you're recognized.
Yes, this is a question for Mr. Bittner or maybe even Mr. Tyndall back there. But considering that our agenda has a potential resolution to take up for consideration later on, if we were to motion that this one be postponed until that time frame, do we have enough time
Mr. Bittner?
to do that? So because there is a potential consideration at the end of this meeting, I wanted to see if there was enough time where this could be motioned to be postponed until that, I believe it was February timeframe.
Yeah, I think there's enough time. I think there's, in Title 11, I think you have 100 days to get it back.
Correct. And, okay, so that could potentially work then. Because
Right.
ultimately, I don't want this to fail and then, you know, Mr. Thompson's out of his application, has to wait a whole year, but then potentially now we have this coming up that could then let him work within his current zone. So it's just more trying to figure out how we can either make this work within what he's trying to do. But if you say we have enough time, then I guess I'll. Is that allowed right now?
Yeah, I
Or
mean,
take another bite of the apple.
Are you asking to move up what's at the end of the agenda?
I think she just wanted to know if
If you had enough
this,
time?
if this
Yeah.
ordinance was deferred or
Yeah.
postponed.
If there was, if there was enough time to do that.
Yes.
Okay, because then, okay. So I see some mics. I'll let everybody else speak and then I'll come back.
Thank you, Mr. Bittner. Councilman Chandler, you're recognized.
Thank you, Your Honor. Excuse me, Mayor. Throwing the curveball again. I'm not gonna dwell as much on this tonight as I did Monday night. And I wholeheartedly thank Councilman Zacharias for coming up with the resolution to, in my opinion, fix this in a future problem. My problem is, Mr. Thompson was told C4 a couple of times. I mean, you've all got the paperwork. I brought it up Monday night. Then it was told C5. Well, now all of a sudden C5 doesn't work. Okay, well, you know, let's move it to agriculture. Well, you know, is it going to be told again? Well, agriculture's not going to work. You know, this has been going on for over 2 years. You have read over it. I have read over it. I read over it so many times that my vision gets blurred. It is this council's job to come in and right a wrong. It is not the planning commission. It's not the building and codes. When we wrong a citizen that gets the blame for it, it's these 12 councilmen and the mayor. I'll go back to look at the flooding issues with houses, news media, news articles. Every time you read it, you hear nothing about, well, the Regional Planning Commission said do this. building code said do this. No, it was that crazy city council that approved it. I heard a speech a while ago, about begging. Folks, I don't know how many of you know me very well, but I don't beg. But tonight, I'm going to break that. I am going to beg you to do the right thing for the Thompson family that had been given the runaround for over 2 years. It's all right here in the paperwork. Every time that he applies something, he's told to change it. He changes it, and it's back and forth, back and forth. Folks, let's approve his zone change, not that he started it, but because he was told what to do. Let's approve his zone change and give the Thompsons an early Christmas present. Thank you.
Councilman Haywood, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to motion to suspend the rules and bring up consideration of Resolution 35, 2025, 26, and the Resolution 35, 2025, 26 to now.
Okay, we have a motion to suspend the rules, to move the end of the agenda, which is item B and item C under new business, Resolution 35, to the front of the agenda, ahead of this item, and properly seconded. Is there any discussion regarding this motion? Councilman Haywood, you want to explain?
Yes, Mayor. So this resolution that Councilman Zacharias is bringing forward, I think would solve the problem that we're having with this zoning. So that's the reason why I want to bring it up. We get it solved, and then we can vote on this ordinance.
Okay. Councilman Chandler, you're recognized on the motion to suspend the rules.
Yeah, I just got on the motion to suspend the rules.
That's where we are.
Okay. Never mind.
Never mind. Councilman McLaughlin on the motion to suspend the rules.
I concur on what the sponsor has stated. In my conversations with Mr. Thompson, he didn't want to do his own change. He wanted to be able to do what he said he was going to do under the current zoning, and I believe that, as a previous speaker stated, this is probably the way to make that happen. So I'm in support. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Chandler, your light's lit up. Do you want to speak?
Yes, I just got
You're recognized.
a clarification question, and that would be, do we have to vote on ordinance 38, 2025, 26 tonight?
It's before us. You could motion to postpone when we get back to it. But right now, we're on the motion to suspend the rules to consider the two items or one item under new business.
But my question is, real quick, again, if this ordinance 38 stays on and it is voted disapproval, does that not put the year in?
Clock's ticking. Be a year before they could bring it back.
So even if we put the C4 resolution in and this gets voted down, then he would still have to wait another year.
Would have to wait another year. This is first reading on the ordinance.
Okay.
Councilman Haywood, you're recognized on your motion to suspend the rules.
Thank you, Mayor. To the previous speaker, I just wanted to clarify, if that resolution passes, he wouldn't need a zoning change. He would be able to do what he needed in the C4.
No, it would not, because the ordinance or the resolution sponsored by Councilman Zacharias is requesting the
Right.
Regional Planning Commission to bring language back, back to the council for consideration.
It would expedite it, right? I just want to make
Well,
sure.
it wouldn't expedite it necessarily, but it would ask them under the proper procedure to bring that back to us to consider. So if ordinance 38 fails, it fails. Councilman Zacharias, you're recognized on the motion to suspend the rules.
I think my comments are for the motion that we are talking about suspending the rules to consider, so I will hold off.
Councilman Chandler, on the motion to suspend the rules?
No, Mayor.
Okay. All right. Okay, no more question or comment regarding that we are going to vote on the motion that's been properly seconded to suspend the rules to take up items under new business, Resolution 35. Madam Clerk, are we ready? All right. All members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
11 yes, 2 no, 0 abstain.
That motion passes. We are now taking up the two items, or the one item under new business, Resolution 35. First, we have to motion to consider Resolution 35 because it was not listed on our executive session. A resolution requesting the Regional Planning Commission to perform a study and return an ordinance for consideration by the Clarksville City Council with regard to the definition and other necessary code amendments for a garden center accessories, greenhouse, and nursery for Title 11 of the Clarksville zoning code. It requires a 3/4 majority. I will entertain a motion for consideration of Resolution 35. Motion been made and properly seconded in favor of the consideration of Resolution 35. Councilman Chandler, would you like to speak to the consideration motion?
Yes, sir.
You are recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, what I'm reading on this resolution is we're not asking them to come back with anything that would necessarily affect Mr. Thompson. It's just asking them to clarify. They could come back and say, well, okay, we're only going to allow it to be in C5, or we're only going to allow it to be in this. That'd be their recommendation, and we'll be right back to square one again.
Well, we can't get clarification on that question until we vote on the consideration of Resolution 35, and then the sponsor of the resolution can explain, and we can get into the weeds. Forgive the pun.
Okay.
You still have the floor.
I would like to call for a quick recess so I can talk it over with the Mr. Thompson to see exactly what this would mean to him. Don't drop your head over there.
Hang on a minute. Wait a minute. Let's hang on.
We're asking a man over here, and we're asking me to make a decision, and the rest of these people here to make a decision without knowing how what we do is going to affect him. You know.
Councilman Lovato, point of information.
We have to vote to even start discussing it. We haven't agreed to even discuss it yet. So we need to get that off the table. But when we actually do start discussing it, it would be great if we ask Mr. Thompson the questions at the microphone so we can all hear the answers.
So thank you. We are at the point of consideration of Resolution 35. We can't get to Mr. Thompson until we can bring this properly before us. Councilman Chandler, you still have the floor.
I said I'm done.
Okay. Councilman Streetman, on the motion to consider Resolution 35.
Yes, sir. That was what I was going to speak on. I'm not in favor of us considering this tonight. If we were looking at this next month, it would be different, but this doesn't have a good look to it when Mr. Tyndall's already answered the question of that it would be that we could be opening the floodgates for others to come in, that we're making a one-off type of change. And to me, it doesn't look good to the public for us to consider it tonight. Short week, just had the meeting on Monday. This wasn't on there. And then this is all of a sudden on here now. So to me, it looks like it could be, we're just trying to slickly get this through and sent back to the RPC to ask for a change to our zoning classification. So that's, in my opinion, if we were looking at this next month, it would be different, but I'm not in favor of us slipping this on here tonight.
Councilman Smith, on the motion to consider Resolution 35, you're recognized.
I agree with the previous speaker, but also, Mayor, I made an error in my vote for 38, 2025. I wanted to vote in favor of that. Can I change that?
Well, we haven't voted on that just yet.
we haven't? I
No,
thought we
we're-
did.
Well, no, we suspended the rules to move this resolution up
Okay,
before
okay.
we vote.
Okay, all right, good. I want to make sure.
Okay.
But I do agree with the previous speaker on this.
Councilman Shekinah, you're recognized on the motion to consider Resolution 35.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. I don't think we should even consider a motion for this resolution. That's all I have to say.
Councilman Zacharias, on the motion to consider your Resolution 35.
Okay, I think I might be able to provide some clarification here. My intent was that this be considered completely separate from the rezoning application because I don't see that it is related. Yes, it was this rezoning application that brought this ambiguity, this vagueness to the attention of the RPC and then to us. We would not be here if the city code had these definitions in it right now. So now we've got this situation where a vagueness in our city code has caused two different city employees, not necessarily at the same time, but two different city employees to have different interpretations, and a resident's livelihood is at stake. So yes, I understand that this is atypical. But if we're gonna set a precedent, let's set a precedent for when our code is incomplete and it's affecting somebody else's life, we fix it fast. That's within our power. Thank you.
Okay, we're on the motion to consider Resolution 35. There are no more lights lit up, so we will be voting only on the motion to consider Resolution 35. Requires a 3/4 majority approval of members present and voting, and that is 10 of us. So all members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
9 yes, 4 no, 0 abstain.
The motion to consider Resolution 35 fails. We are now back on Ordinance 38. On the Planning Commission report, any other comment or question regarding Ordinance 38? Councilperson Marquis, you're recognized. Councilman Marquis, excuse me.
Yes, so I just want to say I am in favor of this being a garden center, and if this should fail, then he should be able to operate in a C4 like other garden centers. Thank you.
Any more comment or question regarding Ordinance 38? Councilman Peters, you're recognized.
I just want to say that if we do not pass this, then we need to send codes out to Walmart and other people who are in violation of this code. That's the only comment I got.
All right, any more comment or question regarding Ordinance 38? All right, we are now voting on Ordinance 38. All members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
9 yes, 4 no, 0 abstain.
Ordinance 38 passes. First reading. Councilman Streetman.
Ordinance 43, 2025, 26, first reading, an ordinance amending the city zoning ordinance of the city of Clarksville, Tennessee, as it pertains to citywide electronic message center signage regulations. The Regional Planning Commission and the staff recommended approval, and I so move.
Motion been made and properly seconded in favor of Ordinance 43. Any comment or question regarding Ordinance 43? Councilman Holloman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. In the ordinance, it talks about the sign changing every 5 seconds, and that's like the minimum. That seems kind of fast, doesn't it? I mean, is it just me on that one? Because like you're driving down the road every 5 seconds, you got some new sign flashing up at you. Like I don't know, like maybe change it to like 15 seconds, or just kind of throwing it out there. But thank you.
Thank you. Any more comment or question regarding this ordinance? Seeing none, hearing none, are you ready to vote? All members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
13 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain.
Ordinance 43 passes first reading. Councilman Streetman, you're recognized.
Resolution 34, 2025, 26, a resolution approving abandonment of portions of Howard Street, Lincoln Drive, and Ernest Shelton Drive as part of the Lincoln Homes redevelopment. I make a motion for approval.
Motion been made and properly seconded in favor of Resolution 34. Councilman McLaughlin, you're recognized on Resolution 34.
I make a motion to postpone to the January 8th regular session.
Motion been made. Do I hear a second? Seconded. Any comment or question regarding the motion to postpone? Councilman Streetman, you're on the motion to postpone. You're recognized.
I'll tell you, I'm really kind of torn on this one. Last week, Monday, when the council member from Ward 2 spoke on postponing this, I was understandable of that and was 100% behind that. However, since then, I have talked to Mr. Bill Summers, who serves on the Housing Authority, and I also talked to Bishop Lockett, and they talked to me individually about the importance of this staying on track. One of the things that Mr. Summers did tell me was that understanding that there was a lot of concern up here with the director in place and getting a new director in place of the Housing Authority, but that the director would not be who's leading the charge. He stated that it is the board they're driving the train, they're leading the charge on moving this project forward, and was very, very concerned about there potentially being a delay that could in turn cost them their tax credits. That they've been able to get these two awards, and that's been unheard of. And I think that's due to a lot of their work as a board, not as the director. I think this is really stems back to them, and that's just from my conversations with him and my conversations with Mr. Lockett. And I know one thing that Mr. Summers said is they've really done a lot of work as far as the board to try and get the Housing Authority together, knowing the issues that have been in the past. And his fear was that this would take away any momentum that they have been building going forward and kind of knock them backwards. So I'm going to stay with listening to him and supporting him, especially being former councilman for this seat and living in my ward. And again, I spent quite a lot of time talking to him. So I know what I'd said Monday night, but I do have to change where I stand on that.
Councilman Marquis, you're recognized on the motion to postpone.
Yes, so I too share the same sentiment as the previous council member. I did agree Monday about postponing it because I did want to see a new director in place, but again, after speaking to some of the more members, they are about to start interviewing. So even if we do a 30-day postponement on this, they still potentially won't even have somebody involved as the director, and that would now delay their timeline. So with HUD and state and all the tax credits, they need to show that they've started this abandonment to get, like it was mentioned earlier, their site plans moved up to begin, and then also affect some of the other tax credits that they are putting forth in the springtime, that it's all connected to put into that packet to potentially get it as well. And I don't want to see them lose that money. We know the state that some of the residents are living in, and with regards to the road that I had asked about with the weathering, I was told that if we can get this started, that potentially by that time comes, those residents won't even be living on that street, so it won't even be an issue if there isn't anyone there, but they need to get those residents moved now. Unfortunately, it's a time issue. Like if this was presented maybe a month or two ago, it would have made sense. But they are on a very tight schedule right now, and it could potentially affect them not getting that money released to them. And that's all.
Councilman Smith, you're recognized on the motion to postpone.
Yes, I don't think we should postpone this. We've heard from some leaders in that group on the board, Trina and Bishop Lockett, who brought forth some firm information, and they're on a timeline, just like everybody else said. And if they miss this money, we only have one shot to allow them to get this money. And postponing it will not allow them to meet the deadline that they need to meet. It's hard getting money from federal government. It is hard. And I know it's a lot of work. I know about grant writing. I know about how you got to go through the red tape. You got to make sure you're following the direction. You make sure you got to do everything they ask you to do. And they have gotten to this point. They worked hard. They're the only ones that have gotten 2 tax credits at one time. And that tells you something. That was grit and grind, hard work. And I want to congratulate them on that because 5 years ago when I was over there, they didn't know which way they were going to go. And trying to get these buildings fixed up. These places, most of these public houses are dilapidated, believe it or not. I've been in them. Been to many meetings with them, trying to get this thing fixed. So please, let us help the low-income people, the poor. Let us be a light in this community instead of always trying to put something off that will cause people to suffer. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilman Shekinum on the motion to postpone.
Call for the question, Mayor.
Question's been called. Any objection to cease discussion on the motion to postpone? There is none, so we are now voting on the motion to postpone Resolution 34. All members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
3 yes, 10 no, 0 abstain.
Motion to postpone fails. We're now back on Resolution 34. Any further comment or question regarding Resolution 34? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, if this project doesn't move forward, we're abandoning roads, city roads. It's their responsibility, will become a liability. I have zero faith in the existing management of that organization, and they have brought this to us at the 11th hour in the 59th minute, and now pushing us to make a decision on something they should have talked to us about months ago. So I'm just telling you, you're creating a situation. They talk about protecting the citizens. We're protecting the citizens by defeating this resolution, making them come back to us with proper information at the proper time. And for them to say that it's going to jeopardize their money, that is not true. Councilman Brown, you're recognized.
So if this abandonment fails, do they have to wait a year to bring it back up?
No, they do not. It's not a rezoning.
So they can bring it back up next month?
They can bring it back. Any more comment or question? Councilman Smith, you're recognized.
I think we need to go ahead and vote for this. If y'all care about anybody, it doesn't matter about how people were. You know, we've all messed up in this life. Everybody can, we can point the finger at somebody, but look, when we go back and look at your past, let us go back and look at your past. What have you done? What have we done? We all got a past. Some of it is in the paper. Go back and look at the ICOF. I can't get it out. Go back and look at the past records. We all have done something wrong when we were in leadership positions. So don't try to put everybody down like we ain't done nothing. So what we need to do is help these people. They got the money. What are we so uptight about? We've all done something. Go back and look at the papers, the newspapers at our past history and see what we come up with. That woman done worked hard, the board has worked hard, and none of us are better than nobody else. Go back and read the newspapers and you'll see what I'm talking about. So let us vote in favor of this, please. Help these people out. We don't want them to lose the money. She might not be there. The board will be there to help it out, to make it move forward. They worked hard for this. Shouldn't be a hard decision, but that's up to you all. Thank you.
Any further comment or question, Councilman Streetman, on this motion?
Mayor, I need a few minutes on this. Is there any way, could we take the recess that was asked for earlier? Can we take a brief recess right now?
Motion been made to take a 5-minute recess, properly seconded. Any objection to taking a 5-minute recess? All right, we will reconvene at 8:10. It's 8:10. We're going to wait just another moment because of the lack of restroom facilities on the first floor. p.m. still on the same day, December the 4th. We are now back in regular session. Councilman Streetman, you're recognized on this resolution.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to reconsider the previous postponement. I still didn't have enough time to make a decision. I think there's some more information I'd like to get.
Motion been made and properly seconded to reconsider our action on Resolution 34. Any comment or question regarding this motion? Councilman Streetman, you want to explain what we're doing here?
What we're doing is we're voting again on the council person from Ward 2 brought up a postponement, because I was on the prevailing side, I was able to ask for the motion to reconsider. This is where you're going to vote to allow us to reconsider, then we'll actually vote again. But like I said, myself, just hearing the statements from the mayor, hearing a lot of things that have been said have left me a little bit unsure. So I want more information for it. So I'd ask that you support this reconsideration, and then we can vote on the postponement again.
Okay, the motion been made and properly seconded to reconsider our action on Resolution 34. Councilman Smith, on the motion to reconsider our action on Resolution 34.
We just voted that down for that postponement. So I don't know why we're going backwards when we need to be going forward to vote on this resolution that's before us, Resolution 34, 2025, 26. Why are we going backwards when we need to be going forward? Time is winding up here, and it's been late. It's getting late, and we're going back now. We just voted on this postponement, and it failed. It failed. So why are we doing this? What is the gist of this?
Is that to the sponsor?
Yeah.
All right, to the sponsor of the motion to reconsider, you're recognized.
I can vote to postpone, or I can vote no on the approval. It's one way or the other. I can have more time to get more information and see more, or I can just vote no. At this moment, I'm uncomfortable, even with all the information and trusting the people that I've gotten information from. I want more, and I can either get that, or we can let it fail and chips can fall where they may.
Councilman Smith, you're recognized on the motion
I hear
to
you.
reconsider our
I
action.
hear you, but the thing is, you're being wishy-washy. You saying a few minutes ago that, hey, I'm for them after hearing this and all of that. Then you turn right back after you ask for a session, give us 10 minutes, you come back with another idea. You want to come back and reconsider the postponement that just failed. So why are we going back and forth with this when we know it already failed? The postponement failed. Now you being wishy-washy. What?
No, it's
Mayor,
proper motion,
I
Councilman
understand
Smith.
this,
It's a
but
proper
I'm
motion,
speaking.
and it's before
Yeah,
us.
but she's still going. I can still say what I got to say.
Yes, ma'am, you
She's
can.
going back and forth. You 1 minute you're for it, the next minute you ain't. You need to be a person that's firm. Make up your mind and stick with it. Don't be wishy-washy. If you say what you mean what you say. Thank you.
Councilman Shekinab, you're recognized on the motion to reconsider our action.
Yes, Mayor, I don't think we need to reconsider it. I think we should vote. It's a resolution. It's either up or down, whether it fails or whether it passes. If it fails, we can bring it back, or they can bring it back. So let's just vote and get it over with. Pass or fail.
All right, we're voting now on the motion to reconsider our action. We're not voting on the resolution. We're voting on the motion to reconsider our action on Resolution 34. Takes a simple majority. All members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
9 yes, 4 no, 0 abstain.
The motion to reconsider our action passes. We are now back on Resolution 34. Anybody wish to be recognized on Resolution 34? Councilman Brown, you're recognized on Resolution 34.
Thank you, Mayor. So just thinking about this postponing it a month to the early January, and since it is just a single vote, it doesn't have to come to us twice. That's 4 weeks, but we also got holidays in there, and not much is going to get done during the holidays, work-wise anyway. So I think I'm just going to be for postponing it a month, and then we can move forward there.
Councilman McLaughlin, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. During the recess, I had an opportunity to consult somebody that I know that works for HUD. The response was very similar to what the previous speaker said, is during the holidays, a lot doesn't happen. It would be better to postpone than vote it down.
Any more comment or question regarding we're voting to postpone? That's the action that we reconsidered. We're voting to postpone Resolution 34 till the January 2026 regular session. Councilman Smith, you're recognized.
Yeah, if we postpone this, is this gonna mess up their deadline, meeting their deadline?
No, it will not.
Are you sure, Mayor?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna postpone. I'm gonna vote
You're
to try to get this approved, you know. It needs to be approved. We need to stop thinking about what somebody done, because what has happened. We've all done something. As I said, go back and look at the records. Some of us done been in jail. Some of us done been everywhere. So let's say, point of order, nothing. I got the
okay.
floor.
Point of order, Councilman
But I'm
McLaughlin.
still saying what I got to say.
To the city attorney, personal attacks are
It ain't no
against
personal
our
attack. I said some
Hang
of
on, hang on.
decorum rules.
Okay,
There was
hang on a minute.
nothing personal, one-on-one.
Okay, that's enough. All right, we're now voting.
As I said, we've all done
We're now
something.
voting on the motion to postpone Resolution 34 until January 2026. Every member, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take this vote.
11 yes, 2 no, 0 abstain.
Resolution 34 is postponed till next month,
What day next month?
till the January 2026 regular session.
The end of the month?
January,
That's the end
the
of the
first
month.
Thursday,
You said
the 8th,
26th.
2026.
Oh, okay. The 8th? Okay.
Okay. Councilman Streetman, any more on the Planning Commission report? You're recognized.
For 4 items, 2 hours later, I conclude my report.
No, we got one more.
No, I thought we were done. Oh,
Ain't through yet, honey.
well, 2 hours we should have been. Ordinance 44, 2025, 26. An ordinance adopting the Britton Springs Neighborhood Plan. I make a motion for approval.
Motion been made and properly seconded in favor of ordinance 44. Any comment or questioning regarding this ordinance? Seeing none, hearing none, are you ready to vote on ordinance 44? All members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
2 yes, 11 no, 0 abstain.
Ordinance 44 fails. Councilman Streetman, you're recognized.
I think this time that concludes my report,
All
Mayor.
right, I think you're right. We're now ready for the consent agenda. Madam Clerk, please read the consent agenda.
All items on this portion of the agenda are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the council and may be approved by one motion. However, a member of the council may request that an item be removed for separate consideration under the appropriate committee report. Ordinance 21, 2025-26, second reading. An ordinance to amend the official code, Title II, Alcoholic Beverages, Chapter 2, Intoxicating Liquor, pertaining to Section 2-214, procedures for processing applications for certificates of compliance for liquor stores. Ordinance 22, 2025, 26, second reading. An ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to conduct negotiations and to enter into an agreement for the purchase of real property located at 209 Plum Street for the purpose of constructing affordable housing in partnership with Montgomery County Habitat for Humanity. Ordinance 23, 2025, 26, second reading. An ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to conduct negotiations and to enter into an agreement for the purchase of real property located at 121 Sampson Street for the purpose of constructing affordable housing in partnership with Montgomery County Habitat for Humanity. Ordinance 24, 2025, 26, second reading. An ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to conduct negotiations and to enter into an agreement for the purchase of real property located at 105 Brooks Alley for the purpose of constructing affordable housing in partnership with Montgomery County Habitat for Humanity. Ordinance 25, 2025, 26, second reading. An ordinance amending Part 2, Code of Ordinances, Title 13, Utilities and Service, Chapter 3, Gas, Water, and Sewer Service, and Chapter 4, Water and/or Sewer Service to particular areas or subdivisions, the City of Clarksville for the purpose of establishing the Clarksville Gas and Water Board. Ordinance 26, 2025, 26, second reading. An ordinance accepting the donation of certain real property from River Chase Marine Terminal to the City of Clarksville for the purpose of the Greenway Walking Trail. Ordinance 29, 2025, 26, second reading. An ordinance amending the zoning code and map of the City of Clarksville, application of Michael T. Booth for a zone change on property located on a parcel fronting on the west frontage of Dotsonville Road, 275 plus or minus feet south of the Arrowfield Drive and Dotsonville Road intersection from R2 Single Family Residential District to R2A Single Family Residential District. Ordinance 30, 2025, 26, second reading. An ordinance amending the zoning code and map of the City of Clarksville, application of John Mark Holloman for a zone change on property located on a parcel of land fronting on the northern frontage of Paradise Hill Road, 155 plus or minus feet east of the Hayden Drive and Paradise Hill Road intersection, from R1 Single Family Residential District to R6 Single Family Residential District. Ordinance 32, 2025, 26, an ordinance amending the zoning code and map of the City of Clarksville, application of Faith Investments for a zone change on property located on a parcel of land fronting on the southern frontage of College Street, 210 plus or minus feet northeast of Hornberger Lane and College Street intersection, from M2 General Industrial District to C2 General Commercial District. Ordinance 33, 2025, 26, second reading. An ordinance amending the zoning code and map of the City of Clarksville, application of William Page for a zone change on property located on a parcel of land fronting on the northern frontage of Highway 41A bypass, 1,120 plus or minus feet to the east of Chesterfield Drive and Highway 41A bypass intersection, from R4 Multiple Family Residential District to C5 Highway and Arterial Commercial District. Ordinance 34, 2025, 26, second reading. An ordinance amending the zoning code and map of the City of Clarksville, application of Michael Burkhart for a zone change on property located on a parcel of land fronting on the northern frontage of Madison Street, located center block between South 10th Street and South 11th Street, from R4 Multiple Family Residential District to C2 General Commercial District. Ordinance 37, 2025, 26, second reading. An ordinance rescheduling the January 2026 regular meeting of the City Council. Resolution 33, 2025, 26, a resolution approving appointments to the Audit Board and Senior Board, and the adoption of minutes from November 4th and November 12th.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'll entertain a motion and a second on the motion been made and properly seconded in favor of the consent agenda. Any member wish to be recognized on the consent agenda? Councilman Holloman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to register and abstain on ordinance 30, 2025, 26.
Anyone else wish to be recognized on the consent agenda? Seeing none, hearing none, are you ready to vote on the consent agenda? All members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
12 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain.
The consent agenda is adopted. We're now ready for the Finance Committee report. Chairman Streetman, you're recognized.
I'll try to do a little better here, Mayor.
All right, please.
Ordinance 35, 2025, 26, first reading, and ordinance amending the operating and capital budgets for fiscal year 2026 for governmental funds. Ordinance 103, 2024, 25 for a grant award. Both the Finance Committee and the Public Safety Committees voted in favor of approval, and I so move.
Motion been made and properly seconded in favor of ordinance 35. Any comment or question regarding ordinance 35? Seeing none, hearing none, are you ready to vote? All members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
12 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain.
Ordinance 35 passes first reading. Chairman Streetman.
Resolution 30, 2025, 26, a resolution authorizing retirement of a patrol service dog, Joker, from K-9 unit and donation to police officer George Goodman. Both the Finance and Public Safety Committees recommended approval, and I so move.
Motion been made and properly seconded in favor of Resolution 30. Any comment or question regarding this resolution? Seeing none, hearing none, are you ready to vote? All members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
12 yes, 0 no, 0 abstain.
Resolution 30 is adopted. Chairman Streetman.
Thank you, Mayor, and of course, they talked to us about the hotel motel tax report, but the link is located within your email agenda. That concludes my report, Mayor.
All right, thank you very much. We're now ready for Gas and Water Committee report. Chairman McLaughlin, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. This month, the Clarksville Gas and Water Department wants to congratulate the employees on earning state certifications during the fall 2025 testing session. Upon passing a rigorous exam involving scenario, informational, and math equation questions concerning all areas of water treatment plants and wastewater collection systems. Tennessee Grade 4 Water Treatment Plant Operator certifications were awarded to Christopher Keenan, Timothy Paris, Scott Ryan, and Justin Tisdale. Sorry, I'm having to make this really large because my contacts are dry. Tennessee Grade 2 Wastewater Collection System Operator certifications were awarded to Matthew Davis and Javen Chu. Clarksville Gas and Water hosted and participated in the Tennessee Gas Association Regional Training with Glenn Boatwright of Boatwright Consulting on Incident Command System and Response Training in early November. The training involved instruction to Middle Tennessee natural gas employees on how to better integrate and communicate with public sector responders at the scene of emergencies within a unified command structure, orientation on tactical response, size-up consideration, and basic tips for initial interaction with the news media. Participants reviewed real-life pipeline emergency case studies from an incident command perspective. The session concluded with a customized role-playing tabletop exercise. Clarksville Gas and Water would like to congratulate the employees of the quarter who were recognized for at the department meeting during the week of November 3rd through 6th. Employee of the Quarter award winners for January, February, and March are Rob Vaughn, Administrative, Robert Lewis III, Water Division, Jeffrey J.R. Woodall, Wastewater Division, Ricky Smith, Gas Division, and Brady Devers, Service. Employee of the Quarter award winners for April, May, and June were Jessica Bider, Administrative, Adam Collins, Water Division, Paul Bratcher, Wastewater Division, Matthew Jacobs, Gas Division, and Brittany Smith, Service. And just a reminder, within the next few days, you will be receiving your Service Line magazine that informs us all what's going on at the Gas and Water Department. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Any comment or question regarding this committee report? We're now ready for Neighborhood and Community Services Committee. Chairman Shekinah, you're recognized.
Mayor, the Community Neighborhood and Community Services Home Rehabilitation Program, we currently have 22 households in various stages of intake and site review. We have 4 homes in active construction and pre-construction. As the temperatures drop, we're really focusing again on the seniors that are in need of electrical and HVAC repair. And we're encouraging all residents that may need that assistance, especially our seniors, to go to clarksvilletennessee.gov, or better yet, call the office, and that number is 931-648-6133. I want to mention our rental assistance program. We have 92 active clients in our rental assistance program, so that's pretty good. Applications are open for referrals from local nonprofit entities. And then organizations interested in participating in the program may contact the department at Clarksville at City of Clarksville, community at cityofclarksville.com. Or again, call the office, 931-648-6133. We all noticed that the temperatures have dropped tremendously over the last couple of days, so the warming shelters are active. And we want to thank Clarksville Area Urban Ministry, Irene Center for Hope, Clarksville Montgomery County Action Agency, and the Salvation Army for being able to house some of the residents with the warming shelters as the winter starts to take hold on us. The shelters will remain open any night that the temperature is going to dip to 33 and below. So again, for those who want to support the initiative or have inquiries, they can call the shelter hotline at 931-427-3355. Lastly, the department would like to thank the city council members for their support over the past year with their department initiatives, as well as referrals from the constituents in need. And this includes property acquisition to support housing opportunities, assisting neighborhoods affected by the flash flooding, and then residents seeking help with home repairs, as well as those that are struggling to make ends meet due to the federal government closure. Working together, we continue to make the community stronger and more resilient. Again, from the Clarksville Community Neighborhood Services leadership and staff, they extend a thank you to the council. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Any comment or question regarding that committee report? We're now ready for Parks and Recreation Committee. Chairman Zacharias, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I give this report, I have a bit of a mea culpa. The Certified Park and Recreation Executive Exam establishes a national standard for managerial, administrative, and executives park and recreation professionals. This is a mastery level certification that focuses on practical knowledge and current real-world skills necessary in today's changing park and recreation environment. On Monday, during our executive session, I neglected to mention that our Parks and Rec Director, Jennifer Letourneau, recently earned this certification and is one of only 400-ish other Parks and Rec executives nationwide to have achieved this certification. So congratulations to her, and thank you to my colleague from Ward 12 for reminding me how horrible I am for not mentioning that while she was here.
Let's give Jennifer a round of applause.
Absolutely.
And if you're watching, that was for you. You're recognized.
Clarksville's annual lighted Christmas parade is coming up on Saturday, December 6th at 5 p.m. This is presented by the City of Clarksville and Montgomery County. This nighttime parade will light up downtown with floats, vehicles, and dazzling holiday displays. On Saturday, December 13th, you can lace up and join us at McGregor Park for the Christmas light run from 4:30 to 6 o'clock p.m. This is a family-friendly run/walk that takes you through the park's sparkling holiday light displays and helps support new displays for Christmas on the Cumberland. The 5K event is full, but there are still spots available for the 1 mile event. And if you are interested in joining the Parks and Rec team, we're looking for an event facility manager, a golf equipment maintenance mechanic, Parks and Rec instructor, and a recreation aide. For more information and a complete list of programs, classes, and ongoing activities, visit clarksvilleparksrec.com or download the app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Any comment or question regarding this committee report? We're now ready for the Public Safety Committee. Chairman Lovato, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I will start with building and codes. Our construction division did 3,114 total inspections. Our code enforcement division did 270 new cases. Our abatement division did 48 work orders, and the total revenue generated was over $342,000. For our Clarksville Police Department, the Shop with a Cop was a huge success through the efforts of Detective Morgan and our investigative clerk, Bree Smith, along with many other CPD officers, Austin P. and the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. We were able to make over 120 kids smile as they were given $150 to spend however they wanted. Many of them chose to spend on their family instead of spending money on themselves. So very sweet. On December 18th at 9 a.m. at Freedom Point, CPD will have a few retirements, and they will be hard to replace. Lieutenant Robert Miller with 34 years, Sergeant Scott Cutler, 38 years, Officer Carnegie, 22 years, and Officer Skidmore with 31 years. We will have 3 promotions from Sergeant to Lieutenant Maurice Nesbitt, Detective to Sergeant Benjamin Cooper, and Officer to Sergeant Zachary Goodall. For our Clarksville Fire and Rescue, we want to congratulate Battalion Chief Michael Welsh for retiring with 22 years of service to the city of Clarksville. We have two promotions. Josh Snyder promoted to Battalion Chief and Donnie Kazee promoted to District Chief. CFR has successfully completed its first round of training for the dive team and has successfully obtained over $30,000 in grants from the Gary Sinus Foundation to purchase the equipment. CFR is currently taking applications for firefighter, so if you are interested, please visit the City of Clarksville website to apply online. Before I conclude my report, I would just like to let the councilman from Ward 1 know that I am here anytime you need to know to do better. That concludes my report.
From the top rope, okay. Any question or comment regarding this Public Safety Committee report? We're now ready for Transportation, Streets, and Garage Committee. Chairman Smith, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. TGS reports are as follows. For the month of November, they transported a total of 41,158 riders for the month of November. The fixed route buses transported a total of 37,000 riders, which includes 7,372 seniors who rode for free. Also, on the paratransit buses, there was 4,157 riders. We now move on to the city garage. The total number of work orders for the month of November was 276. The fuel that was purchased on site, unleaded cost was $96,365 for unleaded gallons of 46,414 gallons. For diesel costs, it was $36,183, but that was for diesel gallons of 12,987 gallons. The cost for unleaded gas was $1.99 per gallon. The last delivery was in November. There was no change. It's still $1.99 as of today. The fuel cost for diesel was $2.84 per gallon. That was an increase of 5% from $2.70. This concludes my reports.
Thank you, Chairman Smith. Any comment or question regarding this committee report? We're now ready for the item under new business. Item A, Resolution 32, 2526. Councilman McLaughlin, Chairman McLaughlin, you're the sponsor. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution 32, 2025-26 is a resolution approving the first appointments to the Clarksville Gas and Water Board. I make a motion for approval.
Motion been made and properly seconded. You're recognized.
A graphic was provided by Mr. Riggins. The yellow dots indicate where the 6 board members reside. The 6th dot is the mayor because he is would be an ex officio member. So it just is a graphic that shows that the proposed board members all live in different parts of the city and represent different areas. I will be abstaining because my name is on the list, but I would hope that everybody approves. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Smith, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. pertaining to this resolution, you already know how I feel about it. I already said that there are five member board is not enough to represent 250,000 residents. We know that the laws are outdated. There needs to be a change, and there was no research done on this before it was put together. It was said to me in my one-on-one conversation with Mr. Riggins that he said it laid on his desk for 10 years. He hadn't worked on it for 10 years. He also said that he used CDE's ordinance and compared it and made it feasible for his organization. So I think that I'm not against the board for us, the people who are elected to serve on the board. However, I am against having a five board member to represent 250,000 residents for the gas and water department. And I think that we need to have some kind of say-so when it comes to regulating increases in the rates and fees for the city residents. I'm still talking.
Well, she has a point of order, and that's a valid question.
Well, I'm not through.
What's the point of order?
The topic that we're discussing is what is in front of us, which is the board appointment.
And that's what I just got to talking about.
Okay,
That's what I'm
we're
talking about.
on the board appointments.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And so I still think that their five board members is not going to be enough to represent this city. We need to bring this back. I think that we need to also add something to say that when we're voting on something to increase the fees, that we need to bring it back to the council to have a vote on this, because they still have the authority to.
Councilman
Would you please
McLaughlin,
stop
you're
interrupting
recognized.
me?
She has a valid point of order called. What is your point of order?
What is in front of us for discussion is the board appointment.
That's what I'm talking about.
And, no, ma'am, you're not.
So
I'm
let's
talking
talk about just the board appointments, not
Okay, so the
not
board
fees
appointments
or
is not enough,
policy.
and they won't be able, the board will not be able to make a just and fair decision when rates are increased. So I think that the board needs to be more people on the board before we make a decision to vote for this. I would not be voting for this. As I said, there was no research done on this, and we need to do something to make sure that the residents are taken care of in the proper manner. Because like I said, the laws are outdated on this, and the board is not equipped enough to handle this move. I still got to say what I got to say now. Thank you.
You're welcome. Councilman Streetman, you are recognized on this resolution.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to clarify for the public, the reason this board is, the number is because it is dictated by state law, the number that the board is. So we don't get to pick how many is on there. We kind of have to go with what the state states, because well, they override us. Also, want to say that I commend the board that he has put together. I said this before, and as we pointed out, there's a current council member on there, and there's at least two former council members on there, including the retired representative Curtis Johnson. So I think these are going to be some very knowledgeable and very well qualified individuals that can make decisions based on this board. And I know in Mr. Riggins' 10 years of actual work on putting together this board, I think he's done a fine job in putting together the actual board that he has recommended that is being brought forward to us for approval. So I would ask for your vote on this. From all those except the one that has to abstain, and I think she's going to do an amazing job on there as well, because she's been a phenomenal chair of the committee as well.
Councilman Smith, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. From what I heard, that there are two council members on the board from here about the people on the board. Yes, they're on there, and I'm happy for that, but they're the ones who voted to increase the rates, the gas rates, fees, and everything. So they'll be on there, be good. They'll help to increase the rates again. So they did vote for that. I voted against it. Thank you.
Any more comment or question regarding Resolution 32? Seeing none, hearing none, are you ready to vote? All members, please cast your vote. Every member voted. Any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, please take the vote.
10 yes, 1 no, 1 abstain.
Resolution 32 is adopted. We're now ready for mayor and council member comments. Any council member wish to comment? Councilman Brown, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to comment about the fire department's water rescue dive team. While they were actually in training, learning the better skills, they get a call about a vehicle in the river where a gentleman was backing a boat in. He had a mechanical problem where the truck just went on in the water with the boat. Well, with the trailer, he was there to pick the boat up. So they got some real world experience while they were in training, and I happened to be down there, got to watch them in action, and they did an excellent job. I don't know if anybody's ever tried to pull a winch cable off of a semi wrecker. They're heavy, and he was doing it in the water. So, you know, he was worn out at the end of that, I would imagine. So, but I just want to say they did an excellent job. You know, it's good training for them to recover this gentleman's vehicle for him that he probably won't get to use anymore. But they just, you know, worked out the timing for him.
Thank you for pointing that out. That is good work on behalf of the citizens of Clarksville. Councilman Smith, you're recognized for
Thank you, Mayor.
comments.
I would like to say that the city needs more crosswalks around schools and in the communities where children are walking home from school, and also to events in this city, like on Riverside Drive, we need crosswalk. I got a phone call 2 days ago. A young boy was hit, age 14 years old, was hit by a car crossing over with his mama to go to school, or coming from school, one or the other. And the child had a seizure, was hit by a car, and he gets the citation instead of the driver. So we really need to put some crosswalks. We need to make this city user-friendly and safe for pedestrians, because I don't understand how the child gets a citation when the woman hit the child going across. Well, they say because there was no crosswalk, so the child is at fault. This doesn't make sense, and we need to make it make sense. Change this up. Let's get some crosswalks in this city. I know we've done them a lot over in Ward 2, and I think we need to get them all done, because it was really sad that Ward 2 was on them about getting crosswalks everywhere. So we need to get crosswalks all over this city, not just in one particular area for our students. Thank you.
Thank you. I think every part of the city is getting blessed with it. Councilman McLaughlin, for comments.
Merry Christmas. That concludes my report.
All right.
Merry Christmas back to you.
That completes our business. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Without objection, we're done. See ya.